Next, let us see, children, what are the facilities that are offered by IMF. See, because of some technical errors, the video got stopped with consultative agencies. Okay, now I am just taking it as a separate part and then I have posted it. Now we shall learn about what are the facilities which are offered by IMF to the member countries. First thing, see, this is a 3-mark question. Since it is a 3-mark question, I want you to learn 3 side headings under this topic. We have 6 points. I want you to learn 3 points under the side heading. I shall just tell you which are the 3 points which are easy for you to learn. Okay. First is basic credit facilities. What are the basic credit facilities which are offered by the IMF to its member countries? First is whenever there is any temporary problems. See, I have told you many a times, only short-term problems, medium problems and temporary problems will be solved by IMF. Any temporary problems which are related to balance of payments will be solved by financial help will be given by the IMF to the member countries. And not how will it solve? Either the member countries can, whenever they have good financial stability, they can buy SDRs, exchange rate of their own currency, to finance during the time of deficit. They can buy these and keep it. And the loan is repaid when the member countries repurchase the shares. Okay, whenever they repurchase or give it back, okay, the loan could be given, could be redeemed by the member countries. A member can or unconditionally borrow. How much a member can borrow is whatever is the quota given by the IMF. On that financial quota, a member can borrow 25% of its quota. This is unconditional borrowing right of the member countries. Okay, which that is, the member countries can unconditionally, that is, there is no said restrictions, they can borrow from the fund. Okay, every country will have, member nation will have certain amount of money left with the reserve, left with the IMF. So from that reserve, the member countries can take 25% of its quota without any condition. So unconditionally they can borrow. This unconditional borrowing rights, you call it as reserve trench. How do you call it as? Reserve trench. Underline this, children. It is quite an important objectives within book question. It is not book back. Okay. 25% of the quota which the member countries have with the fund IMF, okay, they can borrow unconditionally. This unconditional borrowing right, you call it as what? Reserve trench. Next is another important topic which I shall just tell you after completing the other points. Next is extended fund facility. See, under this extended fund facility, the IMF will help borrowing facility for the member countries up to 140%. Okay, previously I told you reserve trench, they can take how much percentage? 25% of the quota. Every country will be given a quota that you can borrow only till this much limit. So, without any condition or without any much restrictions, they can take 25%, which you call it as reserve trench. This is for meeting short-term disequilibrium. Suppose if the country is for a need for a period of 3 years, okay, the extended fund facility will be provided by the IMF, where they will be, the member countries will be given 140% of their member quotas. See, for example, if India is one of the profound members of the IMF, because we have been giving so much of suggestions for the IMF, and our quota is also on the higher side only, which means we have got better drawing powers from the international organizations, which we'll just see when that particular topic comes. Okay, so extended fund facility means every member country, from whatever is their quota, they can withdraw up to 140%. But this 140% maximum, no, they can utilize this extended fund for a period of 3 years. And for this, the interest will be charged by the IMF and the repayment should be made by the member countries along with the interest. Okay, this you call it as extended fund facility. Next is compensatory fund financing facility. See, this compensating financing facility was established in the year 1963. Here, it is mainly concerned see, financial help will be given by the IMF, particularly for the countries which are involved in primary production. Primary production countries, whenever there is a shortfall in export earnings, that is, they are not able to get any of exports, okay, as a result of that there is a disequilibrium in such and the countries should export the primary products, that is food grains only maximum. Cereals, food grains are considered to be the primary production products. If such countries who are engaged in primary production and they are unable to they have been exporting the primary products to other countries, means suppose if there is any problem in the disequilibrium, means compensatory financing facility will be offered to such countries. Okay, please underline and keep. This is applicable particularly where primary producing countries, whenever they have what difficulty, whenever they have a shortfall in export earnings. So, in 1981, the coverage compensatory financing facility was extended to payment problems due to fluctuations in the cost of cereal inputs. Cereals and pulses are more needed because all those comes under the food grains. So when there was huge difficulty in the payment problems for the cereal producing countries, compensatory financing facility is offered by the IMF. Next is buffer stock facility. Buffer stock facility was started in 1969. Here again, this is also to help the primary goods, that is food grain producing countries. Okay, it will give financial contribution to the buffer stock arrangement. Why is it giving financial compensation? What the contribution means? Always these primary goods producing countries should have a continuous supply of these food products. They have to produce these food grains without any disruption, for which money should be provided to them without without causing any disruption in the production process. See, there are many countries where the whole world is depending on food for such countries. Okay, see, for example, many of the countries are dependent on Cuba for rice, on Middle East for oil, for food grains from India, and from China also rather. So for these countries are called as primary producing countries, primary goods producers. So they should be given buffer stock facilities so that they keep continuously producing the goods. Why should they produce the goods? Only then the price of these products will not increase. Okay, so when money is given to us, automatically we will keep on producing the goods. As a result, what will happen? The supply of the goods will not at all be ceasing. So what will happen? The price stabilization also will be there for such primary goods. Next is supplementary financing facilities. Supplement means what? Anything in addition to is only supplement. Okay. IMF, it makes temporary arrangements to provide supplementary financing facility to whom? All the member countries. For what reason? Whenever they face problems to their present quota size. Suppose a few countries feel that their quota size is very small and the amount of money that they are given as loans is very small because their quota size is small. In such situation, supplementary finance can be given by the IMF. Next is structural adjustment facilities. See, the structural adjustment, SAF, underline this. This was brought in March 1986. Mainly the poorer members of the member countries, whenever they have payment balance of payment problems, particularly in poor countries, structural adjustment facility will help them. Through that, IMF will help them. In December 1987, there was one more enhancement in the SAF, which is called as Enhanced Structural Adjustment Facility. In that, the low income countries, low income, how do we categorize a country as low income? Means, suppose if the per capita income of the country is below a particular level, then you call such countries as low income countries. When such low income countries face the problem, they wanted to bring in very strong macroeconomic changes in their country. They wanted to do some changes to promote economic growth in their country. Means, for such facilities, the IMF will give Enhanced Structural Adjustment Facility. Please understand, children, SAF is for poor nations to meet out the BOP disequilibrium. But Enhanced Structural Adjustment Facility is for low income countries. For what reason? Whenever those countries wants to strengthen their macroeconomic and structural programs, and they wanted to improve their position and promote growth for their country, means during that time ESAF will be given by the International Monetary Fund. So these are the 6 points under facilities offered by IMF. It is question number 30. I want you to learn 3 side headings. You can learn extended fund facility, which is a small one. Compensatory financing facility is also small, or buffer stock facility 100% you need to learn, and supplementary financing facility. So you can choose from these 4 and learn any 3. Okay, write all the side headings, explain only 3. That is enough. Now I told you that I would, after finishing this topic, I said I would take the special drawing rights. See, this IMF in the year 1969, to solve the international liquidity problems, that is, having insufficient funds to meet out their liability. During that situation only, liquidity problem will arise. You might have learnt in commerce also what is liquidity. When you find it unlimited liability and all, you might have learnt, is it? So when you find it very difficult to liquidate your assets and repay your debts, in such case, when it is concerned with global trade, you call it as international liquidity. To facilitate that, the IMF has come out with a new scheme called as special drawing rights. The special drawing rights, you otherwise call it as paper gold. See, the special drawing rights, it is maintained, it could be used as, see, whenever you have, if the member countries have money, they can buy this paper gold and have it as a stock. It is almost like shares and stocks only. Okay, and it can be in the form of gold also. Whenever you have money, what do we do normally? We invest in shares and we buy gold and keep it as it. So during the time of crisis, what do? We sell off the shares and repay our debts, or else we sell off the gold or pledge the gold and repay our debts. Like that, okay, the member countries, okay, to maintain their reserve position, they can buy gold, this paper gold, or otherwise called as special drawing rights. Okay, and during the problem, whenever there is disequilibria, balance of payment disequilibria, they need not pay as a foreign currency. Rather, whatever is the equivalent value of that SDR at that particular time, okay, they can, you see, it is taken as a, what is it, currency which is accepted by all the member countries. See, just imagine, in India we accept only rupees. In European countries they accept euros, and in many of the European countries itself only they have got their own in European countries there are many countries who have their own currencies also. So they accept their own currencies only. But if the member countries buys paper gold and keep it as a reserve, whenever they wanted to pay for other countries, okay, they can pay this paper gold which will be internationally accepted, irrespective of whatever the currencies they are using. So it is a currency which is of international acceptance, which has got international acceptance. When they can use it, whenever there is any payment deficits, they can use it to what is it, when the reserve, or when they wanted to strengthen their reserve position, they can use it. So SDR, it can act as both international unit of account and as a means of payment also, where you can have it as a reserve also, and you can use it for the payment of for the international payment also. So all transactions by fund in the form of loans and their repayments, its liquid reserves, its capital are expressed in SDR. Suppose if you wanted to invest in capital in any other country, you can buy it in SDR and keep it as a liquid reserve. So immediately it is liquidatable, because it is an international fund which is accepted by every country. That is why you call it as what? Paper gold. When did it come into existence? 1969. It was created by whom? IMF. For what reason? To solve the problem of international liquidity. So that's the reason, okay, the achievement of the fund the SDR has done so much of the introduction of the SDR has solved so much of problems that, in the words of Hayne, it is said that fund is like an international reserve bank. Like how we have RBI for India, this IMF, it is almost like reserve bank for the whole world nations rather. So it is called as what? International Reserve Bank. I think, children, with this I shall stop today's class. For today's homework, I want you to write what is SDR. This is question number 21. What are the facilities offered by IMF? That is question number 30. And question number 35, that is objectives of IMF. Whatever I have taken only, I have asked you to write. Okay, question number 35, that is objectives of IMF, 7 points. What is SDR? Question number 21. Next is question number 30, facilities offered by IMF. That is all. With this, I shall just wind up today's class. Thank you, children. Have a good day. Bye.